the same day, especially when the first one was a flop. But I figured, hey, I'm sitting in a parking lot waiting for someone to come out of the eye doctor. So, what's a better time? What better time to cut a video talking about real estate? Since I do episodes with Jack sitting in the parking lot, than when I'm sitting in a parking lot. So anyway, this is going to be kind of free flowing. I'm really kind of just waiting for some of you guys to hopefully hop in at some point, and maybe, we could talk a little bit, and you can sway the conversation however you really want. But I'm going to start about talking about the Pittsburgh real estate market, and that's kind of where I'm starting with this whole thing. And for those of you who don't know, I invest in the Pittsburgh area. And a lot of you guys are going to be like, well, why do you invest in Pittsburgh? Why don't you invest in this area? It's better. The ROI is better. The yield's better. The cash flow's better. Everything's better in insert market here. Well, I'll tell you why I invest in Pittsburgh, because it's my backyard. Why would I want to travel halfway across the country, especially on the first few deals? I learned the market now, and it's just like, okay, so let's just keep rolling with it. Why switch up on something that doesn't need to be switched? If it ain't broke, then why am I going to try and fix it? Yeah, I could squeeze more money out by doing different strategies in different places and all that kind of stuff, but I just want to stick with what's working for now. And when I get to a point that it's better to switch, then I will switch at that time. Okay. So, number 2, and why I invest in Pittsburgh. So, So the other reason why I invest in Pittsburgh is because of the fact that I can go at any property, I can double check on anything at any given time. I don't need a property management company to handle this stuff. I can do it myself. And a lot of the issues I come up with are easily solvable because I'm from the area. I know how to prevent things. That's like, if you go down south, I found out recently, you have to have Titan TV man says hi. Hi. I don't have to learn about the different things. So that's like, real recently I learned real recently that like, for example, down in Texas, I got some family lives down in Texas, and we're talking about differences between Texas and this area. And they're telling me that they have to have window units on top of their HVAC system because it gets so hot that, that they need the window units to help get the places cool. And if there's no HVAC system, the air conditioning and stuff, that the place can get so hot and sweltering inside that it can actually have mold inside, from not getting the humidity and stuff outside. Would never have known that. I mean, I'm not from Texas, nor do I really want to live in Texas. I was talking earlier with someone today. You guys can put in the comments where you guys would live. So if you had any choice on where you guys would want to live, where would you want to live? Or would you want to bounce around? I'm kind of leaning more towards the bounce around idea. I'm thinking, spending a few months where I'm at and then go to like someplace drier and warm during the bitter cold months of the year, then come back. Well, home's always a good place. Yeah. Then come back and then go someplace cooler when it is super hot and humid. I don't know. It's just something I was thinking about the other day. And like I said, this is going to be completely random. If you guys want me to talk about something different, put in the comments section. This one isn't really structured like a lot of my other ones. Not saying my other ones are really that structured to begin with. But, yeah. So another reason why I invest in the Pittsburgh market is because of the fact that so I can self-manage. I know the area. I know in my area where the best lenders and all that kind of stuff are. So that's another huge advantage for me. So again, another thing that works out for me in the best. Hey, you have a good day, Trevor. But yeah, so that's another reason why I stay in this area. Um, I tell you something I would. It seems like most strategies would work in the Pittsburgh area. And the one thing that I would actually like to try and do is expand on different strategies and stuff. Um, and what I'm talking about is there's different areas in the city that would work well for co-living. And I wouldn't mind playing around with some of that, as well as further north doing Airbnb. And I'm not talking about like, let's do it all. No, 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 no. Learn your markets. Thank you. See, Andy, that's what I was saying. Bounce around, and I don't mind some snow, and I actually want to stay in the area for like I want to come back for fishing season, and I want to plant the garden and make it so it's self-maintaining, and then come back for hunting season, and after like New Year's, just bounce. Maybe go to like northern part of New Mexico in the mountains, or boondock it for a couple months out in like Oregon desert or something. Someplace warm, warmer, someplace drier. It doesn't have to be so frigidly cold. Then come back, enjoy spring, and bounce out to like Colorado, Wyoming, someplace cooler, even Idaho for the summer. So yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Trying to work. Uh-oh. I had a thing that said reconnecting, so you guys have to let me know what all you didn't hear. But I think all you guys really missed was the fact that I can work on different strategies in this area, and they may not be as good or not as good as other areas, and it's just in what you want to do. This is kind of the one nice thing is that it's a city that's like a bunch of small towns, so you can find like certain groups that you would rather deal with and make it work in those areas, if that makes sense. I didn't realize you can really see the shadow of the my radio's microphone on my face. I wish that microphone worked. I think it would make these live streams a little bit easier. So. For those of you who don't know, psst, let you know a secret. For those of you who don't know, who are interested in, after I end this, at some point before it starts, I'll put a link in the description for this afterwards. And if anyone wants to learn more about the Pittsburgh market, we dive deep. Okay, we dive deep. Hey, you guys want to join? You just click that link takes you to a Zoom thing, and off you go. Off to little Zoomy land. You'll get to interact with us. I don't know how many people will be there. Probably only a few. So anyway, back to what I was saying. So, out of curiosity, out of everyone that's according to what I'm seeing on my end, the few people that are actually watching, how many of you guys have heard of one rental at a time? And if you have heard of one rental at a time, are you guys going to the Vegas event? Ooh, sparkle, sparkle. But yeah, I'm excited. Oh, Andy says he is. At least I think that's what it means. But yeah, I'm pretty excited. It's going to be a good time. A lot of good people. A lot of good coffee. Oh, Andy can't make it. But he's heard of ORAT. I kind of wonder if these people I keep seeing pop on and pop off, I don't know if you guys, I kind of wonder if half the people I see coming on and off, they're just not into real estate. They're like, come on, I see like 60, and all of a sudden they'll be like 2. I don't know. It makes me laugh. Anyway, anyway, what is Pittsburgh known for? Well, I would say Pittsburgh is known for being a tech-driven town. Lots of medical advances and stuff. What was it? I forget what type of cancer it was, but the Allegheny Health Network just came up with a new cure for some type of cancer, and it's undiagnosable to like stage 4. It's not. It's pancreatic. No, no. I can picture the organ. I can't think of what it's called. It's the little organ that's not used, and it hangs off your large intestine, I believe. Appendix. Yeah. Apparently, it can get cancer, and there's been really not too many cures or prominent cures, as people don't really live past 5 years when they were diagnosed, and they just came up with a recent cure for that. So that was pretty exciting. They had typically people that get diagnosed with that only live, I guess, according to what I was reading, only an average of 4 months, because it's undiagnosable until stage 4, like late stage 4. And they had someone survive 4 years after treatments with it, and they said the first 3.5 years were actually pretty good, and it was only the last 6 months where the quality of life just dropped and stuff. So anyway, but yeah, so that's one of the cool things about going on in this area, is just all the research done into health and medical and stuff. And when I was working directly in the medical field, I don't know if it's still true or not, but at that time there was more MRI machines found in Allegheny County than there was in all of Canada. So yeah, that was a cool fun fact I heard. Um, there's a lot of tech coming in the area, but I'll tell you one of my biggest concerns about the Pittsburgh market is that I can see a change, and I'm not saying it's 10 years out. I think it's going to be slightly more than that, but I see a change in the way that companies are being run and what the latest and greatest are going to be. And as far as tech jobs and stuff, and this area is not taking advantage of switching. So I think at some point they're going to fall to the wayside unless they do change or adapt to some sort. So although it's a good market now, it's a stable market, and it will be a market that's always going to be around and all that. My question is, if we're talking, like, if we're looking, if we do a zoom out and we're trying to speculate 30 years in the future, are we going to be reliving the whole steel industry all over again, like we did back in the late 70s into the 80s and into the 90s, where all the mills are shutting down and all that stuff? So that's one of my biggest questions. Okay, that's one of my biggest questions. I'll tell you a very unique thing about this area is that we have a cross between modernization with the tech, and I'm talking homes now. Okay, so I don't want to be throwing you guys off here in a second. So we have a great modernization with the technology and stuff, with smart houses and stuff, and all of the modern day sophistications and the curb appeal is what I'm trying to get at. The curb appeal of the modern day houses, but in these old houses, that some of which are from like the 1850s and stuff, and they've been rebuilt and redone, but they're all modern on the inside, are absolutely beautiful. So you have the old school looking house on the outside with all the modern day features, and all the stucco and all that stuff is gone, and all the knob and tube, and it's completely remodeled with good bones, PEX plumbing, modern day wiring, fuse breaker boxes, just all the good stuff. You know, the fancy sinks and the frou-frou bathrooms. I seen a sink today, and this is something I would never buy myself, but if I saw it in someone's house, I would totally play with it. So this bathroom, or not the bathroom, this sink, it's a kitchen sink. It's like, it's a trough style sink, and it has all these different buttons on it, and the buttons are on different things. So like you hit one button, and the little shower hose, I call it the shower hose, comes on, and you can do it from shower to turbo zapper to really blast off those dry crusted cheese on your plate, and then you hit another button, and it has like a waterfall on the one side, okay, on down below all that, or down below the faucet. It has a waterfall that you can get your veggies, and you can wash them real good and stuff. And then you hit a different button, and it turns that one off. And on the other side, it's like a rainfall type of thing, so like it's different streams. It kind of looks like a sprinkler head. It's like shh, just shooting out forward. And I guess there's I guess that side's good for rinsing or whatever, but that was pretty interesting, I thought. I liked it in the black. There was a black and copper that I liked a lot. I like black and copper. But yeah. So I got in a conversation today. We're daydreaming a little bit. What would you do if you want to just your great uncle Louis, who is 42, came by and was just like, I'm going to write you a check for $12 million. Here you go. There you go. I'll pay the taxes on it. You're gifted $12 million. What would you do? I got to think about it. I was like, what would I do? What would I do? What would I do? I think the first thing I would do is, I think I would probably pour myself a little whiskey. Yep. First thing I do. And then, after the check cleared, I would go ahead and I would probably take, right from the very get-go, half of it and invest it all into different real estate and different. So I would probably do 3 to 4 million in the real estate, and I would probably do 2 in the stocks and stuff. With the 2 million, I could probably do about, I could probably average about 80 to 100,000 a year with the stocks. And with the 4 million, I could easily, I don't know. It's almost unfathomable with real estate. I could probably almost do 20,000 a month with 3 million. So with that much money coming in, I wouldn't have to worry about really the rest of it. So I would probably stick the rest of it into a trust. And I think what I would do is, at that point, is I would start buying more real estate. I'll explain why. Because this way, like my nieces and stuff who are someday hopefully going to go to college or something, that they can then, just sell the property, or, I could take all the money from the rent from all the years of build up and stuff, pay down the mortgage, set the rest of it into a separate account, to manage the property, and just keep going. And then they'd have all that money when they go to college to be to use for their college fund. So I think that would be a really cool thing to do. I think one of the things I would want to do, and this would just be just a simple thing, that it would be something for me to enjoy, is I would do a new vehicle. And you're probably like, what? That's so contradicting to what everyone would do, to what everyone does. And it's so contradicting to what you would do. Well, let me explain. I don't want a brand new vehicle by any means. I actually would like to get probably like I would like to get like an early 90s F350 and just totally rebuild the whole thing. And I would probably like to get like another Frontier like I have now. So like we're already looking at like a 10-year-old vehicle. But there's a few things I want different. One, power windows and locks. I'm tired of reaching over, with my head below the dash trying to crank down a window. That's why I end up running my AC and killing my gas mileage way quicker. 2, manual transmission. So power windows and locks, manual transmission. Tired of it searching for gears all the time. I can stick it in the gear that I need instead of it searching all the time and doing its double shifts and stuff. That's absolutely ridiculous and uncalled for. And 3, 6-foot bed. Trying to ram everything into a 4.5-foot bed. It is basically useless, a 4.5-foot bed. It just is. And something I didn't know when I bought the truck is that trying to find a cap or something to make it more usable, get some extra space, is actually cost more. Because it's so small. Yeah, that's a good point, Andy. Yeah, tithe first, then invest. Yeah, I like that. I agree with that. Yeah, so my big expense is another Frontier. Get rid of this one, sell it. Even older truck that I would like to take the time and actually restore it correctly. And then I think I want to get another 20-some-year-old vehicle. Actually, that's not even 20 years old. It's 30 years old. And I want to get an old van, rebuild the motor and transmission for it, convert it to 4-wheel drive, and do a camper van. And if you guys haven't, I'm sure most of you guys probably haven't seen, or maybe you guys have heard of him, maybe not, but was it Primal Outdoors? Jason, he does overlanding with his van, some type of Ford E-Series. I don't know what it is exactly, but he had a bunch of work done on it. I'd like to try and duplicate that, but with a GM instead. I have so much GM parts laying around that I could build a custom motor for that thing that, it'd be way better than the stock one by leaps and bounds. Just with parts I've laying around, I could build something with easy 200 horsepower more and at least 150 foot-pounds of torque more. So would the F350 be a gasser or the 7.3 turbo diesel? You know what? I would probably just do the diesel, honestly. If you have that kind of money, I mean, I don't really care about the fuel, and it's not going to be something that's going to be a daily driver either. So, yeah, I would do the diesel. It would actually be the first diesel I would be working on, so I'd probably would just, it'd be a learning experience. Just go through, learn the whole thing, build the whole thing. And I want this truck to be completely, absolutely ridiculous. Like, I want it to be the big crew cab with the 8-foot bed, so you really get the feeling of driving a school bus. Just a completely, dually, just as big as you can possibly get. All I have to be is 60 years old and towing a trailer at that point. But yeah, so that's probably what I would work on. Oh, we got 2 likes. But yeah, so that would be exciting. I think I would do a lot more traveling. I think I'd want to go out west, see the west, go up into Canada land. Oh man, we got all nighter hider. He just got done with the rebel capitalist. How you doing, all nighter? We started about with talking about the Pittsburgh market and why I invest here, and we're just completely off topic talking about Ford F-350s at this point. But yeah, I think the diesel would be cool. Put an airbag suspension in it and all that. I think that would be cool. I kind of want to do. I seen a vehicle once in a car show, and I would love to kind of duplicate the paint job. So it started off as black on the bottom and turned into, like, it went from black, faded into charcoal, and as it rounded the top, it keeps fading into a lighter silver, and as it got to the top, it was a gunmetal blue. So they painted it blue, and then they did the gunmetal on top of it, but it was a thin light coat. And yeah, that looks super sharp. I would definitely duplicate that one. Yeah. It's sad. I'm sitting here waiting for someone to get out of the eye doctor station, and I realize that I've been looking at the wrong office for about 15 minutes now. It's actually up over there, the eye doctor, and I've been looking over here, and I just realized that that's a rent-a-center. It's not even close to being an eye doctor. So yeah, and honestly, that wouldn't cost too much. So I think the rest of the money's out of the 12 million. I don't even know. I wouldn't even know what to do with it at that point. You have so much money coming in from your investments. You have so much left over. Like, I don't know. Hobby farming, I guess. Yeah, the F-350 has blinded me. It's going to drive my hopes and dreams. I'm not sure if you guys heard or not, but the not the newest one, but like the model older, the F-450. Okay, so it had some type of popping mechanism or something. I don't know what it's called. I'm just trying to explain it. Yeah, I would definitely have a farm too. I think I just want a hobby farm, kind of, just have a few little animals and just basically a bunch of vegetables, really, that I can go and can and that kind of stuff. Um, what animals would you guys have on a hobby farm? I'm thinking like myself. I don't know. Like maybe I'm thinking some chickens, a bunch of vegetables, can the vegetables, can your tomatoes, freeze any fruit you grow and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I'd probably do chickens. You got the eggs then, and then you could do the meat chickens, and you can either can the chicken or freeze the chicken. And I don't know. Like, I thought about sheep and goats and stuff, but it's like the more animals you have, the less likely you're going to be able to travel. So I just want easy animals that people that I could just be like, okay, yeah, you fill up this trough full of water and you dump feed in that one, and then you walk away. I operated my buddy's tractor on his farm. It was a lot of fun and very useful. I would love to get like an old International, something like that I used to use on the family farm. I don't necessarily understand. I didn't understand why that tractor needed a double clutch. Yeah, so you have to hit the clutch twice and bang a gear. Well, I think it's because you have to line double clutches, because you had a high and a low and shifting gears. Yeah, it was supposedly a fast tractor because it had highway gears. You had high, low, and you had 3 gears, I think. No, 5 gears. Okay, you have 5 gears. So you're shifting down here between your legs, and your high, low was over here, I'm pretty sure. And you double bang, you start off in first low, you double bang the clutch, and I always skipped first high. It was a pointless gear. Put it in second, and you can work your way through low, and then I would just shift in the high on the last one. It would get up to a whole whopping 20 miles an hour. It was cruising. All right. No on the chickens for me. Terrified. I would just buy eggs from someone else. And that's actually a good point. If you had enough people around you, so like I always kind of thought about this a little bit, and I don't know of enough people that would want to do this, but like if you each had like a small farm on like a big piece of property, and each one of you specialize in something different, you could very easily set up a barter system. Definitely have a pond for fish and water useful for gardening. Aquaponics is pretty. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I was doing a lot of research into that for a long time. I'm not sure if I fully grasp it enough as far as what type of fish would survive in a pond, other than just your catfish and your bass and your bluegills and stuff. Well, I guess crappie would probably do good. Yeah, crappie would probably do good. And perch, I guess they don't need moving water, so they would probably do pretty well in a pond like that, especially if you fed them. Yeah, I like perch. I think walleye need moving water, though. I don't think walleye would do well, and trout definitely need moving water, otherwise they croak. That's why you see aerators and stuff. I have a Ford 8N tractors that are half restored. That's cool. Oh, you have cows and pigs and a lamb. Lamb is probably the one of the few things I would actually consider. I don't know if I want sheep, just because they tend to. They're very calm animals, but they kind of taste gamey, and there's only so much you can really do with them. And goats, I don't want. They're mischievous little suckers, and I just don't feel like dealing with them. Tilapia work well in a pond. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, they're a carp-based fish, a very tasty carp-based fish. Man, there must be something going on. There's 2 ambulances, a cop car, and a fire truck over there. And it's all outside of a bar. That bar over there, just a fun fact. Okay, so it's one of the last few places that I know that still has a working cigarette vending machine. I thought they were outlawed years ago, but that place still has them. So I thought that was, who knows how old they are, and if they're even any good. You probably light a cigarette, go in your face, and singes your eyebrows off, because the tobacco is just all a bunch of dried up leaves at this point. Yeah, I like the pond idea. That's a good idea, especially if you get it and situate it into a piece of land where there's springs and stuff. Which in Western PA there are thousands, and there's probably more than thousands, probably millions of springs just all over the place. You could just have and refill that all the time. And speaking about that, rainwater. Okay, that's what you guys got me thinking about now is rainwater. You could have rainwater going into tubs and stuff and all that, but over the past couple of years, I've been seeing less and less rain in this area, and it kind of has me a little bit concerned on some aspects because, like last year, we were in a drought, and this year we don't have much snow. Like we had a few good snowfalls, and it's quickly winding up. But yeah, I'm kind of starting to wonder if this is just going to be the new norm now, where there's just not a whole ton of, well, there's just not a whole lot of rain and snow anymore. Haven't seen one of those in years. Last time was in a laundromat. People would faint now to see. Yeah, I bet you that they would. Like I said, I thought at first, the first couple times I went to that bar over there, that it was just a piece of iconic, decoration and stuff, and until Cynthia came up and was holding a pack of cigarettes. It was like one of the last packs of cigarettes she ever bought before she quit for good. And anyway, she bought it, and she's like, look, I got cigarettes. And I was like, where'd you get cigarettes from? You're supposed to be stopping. You're supposed to stop smoking. And she was like, from the vending machine. It still works. Yeah, I think she had, what, 2 or 3 cigarettes that night. And then she just said, like, that's it. I'm done. And she literally went around handing cigarettes out to people that were smoking. And she never bought another pack ever since. And I think and that was 2 or 3 years. I think it's 2 years ago. Yeah, it was like 2 years ago. And I think I've only seen her smoke like a half dozen cigarettes ever since. We have some more wind events than anything now. I saw something the other day about there are these new windmills, okay, but they're not like the regular ones, like the big giant ones that are bad for the environment, and people don't really want to talk about that because it's a environmentally renewable energy source, even though it kills it. We're not getting into the politics. By me saying that, I mean I'm just telling myself, I'm just reminding myself we're not getting into the politics of it. But anyway, so what it did, or what's different about it, is it runs off of less friction. It has different set of bearings in it, and it looks more like one of those real mowers, like the old-fashioned ones you see like on cartoons and stuff. It looks more like one of those, and you stick it on top of your house, and it spins. It continuously spins. It takes less effort and creates electricity. Now, granted, it's not a whole ton of electricity, but what they said is, what's good about it is, if you're trying to do like a homesteading situation where you have a giant power bank that powers your house and you have solar panels and all that kind of stuff, if your solar panels get blocked because of snow or clouds and all that kind of stuff, I'm going to finish at the start, and then I'm going to have to wrap things up. But it takes less effort and can help keep your batteries charged. So, so you could survive longer until the sun comes back out tomorrow. So with that, we have the person we're waiting for the eye doctor from, and I'm going to have to get going. So thank you for tuning in, you guys, and may you guys have a night full of awesomeness.
Was there a gunshot out